Hello and welcome back to another Q&A video here on Shapeless Media. This time, very special because we're celebrating 2,000 subscribers. So thank you to everyone who has been subscribing, following the channel, commenting, and just being there with us through this journey. Now, this one's not just going to be me. Tyler and Tay will be popping in throughout the video to answer some of the questions that you have submitted. So let's get right into it. Question 1 comes in from Lean Green, and they ask, do you like life? You know, I think Tyler summed it up best when he said,
What's it to ya asks, how did y'all meet, and why is your format two-person reviews? Tori and I met in middle school. I know we've talked about it previously, so I don't want to rehash all of the details, but basically, I didn't like Tori didn't like me, and then we started hanging out together more frequently, and we had some common interests that were gaming-related things and also just kind of like sports-related things. If you don't believe it, Tori and I were sports ball players. And then we saw the two-person format from Cam and Seb, and we really liked their top 5 Skyrim mods of the week on GameSpot. So we were like, yeah, we can do that. We're funny. We got this. And it was just a good outlet for us to practice. So Tori wanted to practice like his filming and editing. I wanted to practice my audio recording and audio editing. So it wasn't really like, oh, we're going to do this and take the world by storm. It was purely just like we want to try this. We want to have something to do. We want to have a project and we want to work on something. And as you can see, like the two-person format, like it was really rough at the beginning, like the John Cena diaries, and then at the beginning of Skyrim. We've kind of narrowed that down and kind of like found a path that's like really, really efficient. So that's why the two-person format is the way it is right now, is because we've, hammered out all of the details. We used to record for hours and hours, and it'd be an hour-long video. So we've kind of narrowed that down, and also I just personally think that two-person reviews are always better because then you don't just have one person talking to themselves. There's no banter. It's just, hey, what's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at this mod, and that's boring to me. If you can do it, more power to you, but I need that back and forth.
why do we do two-person reviews for Shapeless Skyrim? Because as much as Shapeless Skyrim is about showing mods, I mean, that's obviously the main purpose of the show, it's also a comedy show. It's entertainment. It's infotainment, if you want to call it that. It's a thing that you can watch to learn about mods and figure out what's going to be best for your Skyrim game, but also you can have some fun and there's some jokes and just entertainment in there as well. So I think having two people, we can bounce stuff back and forth, we have differing opinions and we can kind of discuss those, and I think for me and for my personality, it's a lot more fun to have a friend to do it with and be able to just kind of bounce back and forth. So that's why I think we do two-person reviews. Next question comes in from Assburglar. How old are you, fudge holes? Assburglar was here. 24?
I don't know if that's asking how old I am or how old my fudge hole is. I'm not going to disclose the actual number, but I will say that my fudge hole is very ripe. It's like a soft, squishy mango. It's just the right age. It's perfectly ripe, so you got to get it while it's fresh. Thanks, Assburglar. Machiavelli the Don has a bunch of questions, so until further notice, these are all Machiavelli the Don. How much have you been whacking, lawn, or masturbating during coronavirus? Well, I've been out there every single day, really like putting in that hard work, planting my seeds around all over the place, really working up a sweat, trying to be, the best one in the neighborhood. So I've really been going hard at that for some time. Hands and knees every single day, working up that sweat, perseverance. And I've also been working in the lawn a little bit.
What are your top 10 video games of all time? We're going to narrow it down to top 5 because top 10 would get a little in the weeds here. So top 5 video games of all time. This is hard. It changes a lot based on like what I'm in the mood for, or thinking back if it's like something that really influenced my life versus being something that is just like a very solid game that I enjoyed the experience. I'm going to try and thread the needle here between nostalgia and games that are actually fantastic. And I'm going to go with number 1 is 2017 Game of the Year, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Obviously, that is my favorite game of all time. It is just the way they crafted the game to just work exactly how you hope every video game would work. Like, I need to start this fire. I wonder if I hit it with a flame sword, that works. If I need to stay warm in the cold environment and I don't have enough, protective clothing to keep me warm, I wonder if I strap a flame sword to my back, will that work? Yes, it absolutely will work. It's just, everything works as intended, and seeing the open world sprawl out before you and knowing that like, you don't know what you're going to learn along the way, because that's part of the fun is like, you're not just going through and like, oh, I hope I hit the next tutorial. You're going through, and as you play the game, you are actively training and learning how the game can work, not the way this has to work. It's the ways that the game can work for you. And that is something that I have never experienced in another game, and it's just incredible. So Breath of the Wild's number 1. 2, I'm going to go with Skyrim. Obviously, we love Skyrim here on the channel. And it's one of those games that like, it's both a very solid and incredible game. Just the depth of the lore. I had memories of playing Morrowind before Skyrim. So like coming into Skyrim, it was like, oh my God. So this game that I didn't really understand as a kid, now I can play it and like get into the lore and read all these books and meet all these interesting characters. And also that kind of Nordic fantasy setting is like ideal for what I love about fantasy. So, I mean, and also just like coming from the nostalgia and stuff. Tyler had Skyrim before I did. He actually gave me his copy of Skyrim PS3 because he was losing his life to it. And he's like, please take this away from me. But I used to just go over to Tyler's house for like extended weekends. Like I would just stay multiple days and we would be up until like 4 a.m. playing Skyrim. I would just be watching him play Skyrim and we'd be making just stupid jokes and stuff with each other. At one point, I remember Tyler, he had like this file that was like crazy far. He had almost like beaten everything in the game. He was like going full completionist. And I accidentally deleted his entire file because I wanted to start my own and I didn't realize there weren't multiple save slots for different characters. So sorry about that, Tyler. You never really recovered from that, did you, bud? Third favorite game of all time. That's going to be The Witness, 2016 puzzle game by Jonathan Blow. Something about its simplistic nature. You're just on this abandoned island. There's no tutorials. There's really no dialogue other than these like audio logs that you can find around the game. But all those are quotes from scientists and stuff. Just the way the game teaches you how to play it without telling you how to play it. It gives you simple things to accomplish, and then you get better and better and you start putting them together, and it's almost a puzzle in itself to figure out how the game works, how the different puzzle systems work. It's incredible. I recommend everyone go try it out. One of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. The Witness definitely makes it in the top 5. Number 4, I'm going to go with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. It's the only Witcher game that I've ever played. I never played Assassin of Kings or the first Witcher. The Witcher 3 completely blew my mind because I thought Skyrim was kind of like the pinnacle of what you could do with fantasy RPG kind of games, but The Witcher not only looked beautiful, had a ton of interesting characters because there was so much already built up in the stories in terms of character narrative. There's lore, there's a lot of lore and everything too, but it's such a character-rich game and world that being able to play through that and having not played the other ones, still feel like I was up to speed on everything. One of the greatest stories I've ever played in a game. I actually felt like the decisions I made through the game counted and came back in a meaningful way, and it's just fun. I just loved it. It's tough to get to the 5th one because now it's everything that I know isn't going to make the cut because there's so many games that I love, but I'm going to have to go with Assassin's Creed 2 because I think it still might be my favorite Assassin's Creed game. It was maybe the first, I think it was the game really that pulled me back into playing games. When I got Assassin's Creed 2, it was the first game that showed me that games had grown up as I grew up, and it was finally a meaningful narrative. It was compelling characters. The graphics at the time I thought were really amazing, and the gameplay, Assassin's Creed is always really good with gameplay. The ability to free run and being in the having the amazing score as you're running through Venice or something like that, jumping over the rooftops. Assassin's Creed 2 is still just one of the best games.
So my top 5 video games of all time would have to be, in no particular order, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Pokemon Ruby version, Kirby Air Ride, Escape from Tarkov, which is a new one, and Smash Bros. I have a lot of really fond memories of all of these games, and most of them are on there for nostalgia's sake, because especially Kirby Air Ride, I have so many good fond memories of like overnight sleepovers with my friends where we would play Kirby Air Ride from literally like 8 p.m. until 8 p.m. for like a 24-hour period. It was fucking wild.
Man, favorites are hard because I'm so indecisive. I never know exactly what to pick. I don't know if I should do like, oh, what's the funnest or the most influential? So I'll give like a rough list in no particular order. I'd say Fallout 3 because that was the like first RPG game I ever like really spent a lot of time with. I got it like for one Christmas. I know I asked for it and I spent so many hours in Fallout 3 because I loved the like wasteland of DC, and you know, it was the first like RPG game I played where it was like, whoa, I can do anything and I can go anywhere, and I explored every little part of that world. So that was huge for me. Assassin's Creed 2, that's kind of where I realized that games could be more than just, oh, I'm just going to sit down and kind of go brain dead for a little while. Just because, it had like such a compelling story and all the characters were really good. And that's where I first realized that, oh, wow, like video games can be a useful medium for storytelling, and they're more engaging that way. Breath of the Wild, because it's Game of the Year 2017, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like, we all know how that works. But the way Nintendo had completely flipped what a Zelda game can be is incredibly impressive, and they made such a unique open world experience. Modern Warfare 2, because that was like the first online game I played, like the multiplayer aspect of that. It wasn't necessarily the game itself, mostly just like, okay, this is a vessel for me to just kind of like talk with friends and like, you know, have some enjoyment and, you know, just kind of like, you know, hang out, but through that medium of video games. And then last honorable mention goes to Skyrim, of course. Like, I mean, it was hugely influential. I dumped so many hours into that game. It's unreal. What's your favorite movie? Okay, so I'm fully ready for Tori, Tay, and everyone else to give me shit like, oh, of course it would be a foreign film, blah, blah, blah. Fuck off. My favorite movie is Oslo, August 31st. It's a Norwegian film. It is gorgeous. It is heartbreaking. It's a very good story. That's my favorite movie of all time. There's a very beautiful scene where they're like biking in the middle of the night, and they have empty streets, and they're just biking, and oh, it's gorgeous. You gotta watch it. And fuck you for being like, foreign film, I'm so unique. Shut up.
My favorite movie is Odd because it's always my default answer whenever anyone asks me that movie question is Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. It's a dog shit movie, but it's so fun and whimsical and just so wildly out there that it's permeated the subconsciousness of my brain to where that's always my knee-jerk response to that question.
Favorite movie for me is going to be the 2014 Christopher Nolan classic, Interstellar. It's just like, it's always my go-to. There's a lot of movies that I absolutely love, and like you see new ones all the time, and you're like, oh, that might be one of my favorites now. But when I think about it, Interstellar every time is just like my favorite movie. I love it. Favorite show. There's been a ton of TV shows that I've loved over the years, but I gotta give it my all-time favorite show has got to be Game of Thrones. It's the biggest fucking show that's ever been made, and I don't see how that's ever gonna be topped. Like, I don't know how there's going to be the next Game of Thrones. I just think it's one of those, like, they just captured it perfectly, and I don't know if anything is ever gonna reach that height again.
All right, I'm going to break the rules that Tori set out for me, and instead of one show each for all of us, I'm going to give like a couple really fast, rapid-fire ones because I'm a huge fan of animation, and I can't really just pick one. So Futurama, She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, Adventure Time is up there, South Park, Bob's Burgers, just animated shows I love in general.
What's your favorite TV show? It's a toss-up because I watch a shit ton of TV shows. I would have to say Westworld is very, very good. I love Westworld. I love the concept of Westworld. I also really love, wow, I'm just naming HBO series. Watchmen and Chernobyl were so perfect because they're like self-contained stories that were so good. So those also get an honorable mention, as well as Game of Thrones, obviously, because it's a complete cultural icon. Like we're gonna be hard pressed for another Game of Thrones level of TV show.
Favorite restaurant? I don't have anything too fancy. I'm not gonna have like a really, really cool answer about this. I'm pretty simple, and I'm also really picky. So the things I like, if a restaurant can nail that, I'm pretty into it. So I'm gonna go with 2, because this was a real tough one for me for some reason. Number 1, Keys Cafe. It's like there's a couple locations around Minnesota, and if you want to get like one of those greasy diner breakfasts, just get some eggs and some toast you can dip in those yolks and hash browns and bacon, Keys Cafe is the place to go for that. Also, the most packed omelets you can ever imagine. Second one I'm going to go with is just a little hole-in-the-wall Chinese takeout place from the town I grew up in. It's called Tom Moy Cafe. Just the best fried rice and the best sweet and sour chicken, and that's all you need. You don't even worry about anything else. Best fried rice, best sweet and sour chicken.
My favorite restaurant is up in Canada, actually, where my family has a cottage in town, which is like a 40-minute drive from the cottage to the town. There's this fish and chips shack that's like up on a hill overlooking the bay where the boats are all in, next to a bunch of fucking high-class sailboats and yachts. You're eating fish and chips looking out over like the sea, basically, except it's a great lake. It's fucking awesome. It's a great atmosphere, and the food is fantastic.
Favorite restaurant? Well, that's going to be the nation's finest, Joe's Crab Shack, and you can stake your fucking life on that one, okay? But in reality, thanks, dickhead. But in reality, I would say there's a sushi restaurant called Akita Sushi and Hibachi, and I love that place so much, and I've never found sushi that is cheaper and better than what they have. I would kill someone right now. I would get on top of someone and strangle them and watch the light leave their eyes just for a whiff of that restaurant. I would kill all of you just for a single taste.
Kids? No?
So this question just says kids ? And I don't really know 100% what the context is here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to read that as, are you ever wanting kids? And my answer is no. If I'm ever going to be a parent, it's going to be an adopted child. As for like dealing with kids, IRL, fucking hate them. They're stupid.
Kids. Now, the way this is worded, I don't know if you're asking if I have kids or if I have a favorite kid. I would say favorite kid, probably Kevin from Home Alone. He's a rambunctious guy. He's got all these weird tricks and traps and he's kind of goofy. So I'd say my favorite kid is probably Kevin from Home Alone. Exercise routine. Exercise, in order to keep this 175 body, it takes a lot of hard work. It takes perseverance. It takes blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, I have a pretty intense workout routine that I don't think a lot of people would be willing to go that extra mile to do. It's all about your mindset, like, can you do it? Can you wake up every morning and achieve what you want to achieve? And also just a lot of raw eggs, like just a case every morning. All of them. Every single one in the case.
The next question comes in from Mackenzie Luger, and they ask, do you have any pets? Yes, I do. I have 2 pets. Let me get them. Oh, God. Oh, God. So this is Maury. He is my big fat boy, and he is an absolute nightmare, but I can't help but love him. What do you have to say to the audience? Hey, bud. Okay, I'm sorry. And this is Callie. She is my old cat that I've had since I was very young. She's 17, I believe, years old. So she's an old girl, but she's still got a lot of life left in her. No, Callie. No.
This is Mr. Kit Kat. He is one of my 2 cats. I love him very much. We rescued him from a living situation where he was living in a bathroom, like a really small bathroom. and he was attacked by a dog when he was younger, so that's why he looks really fat and paunchy. But he loves it here, and he loves hanging out with us. Let me go get my other cat. I gotta be kind of quick with this one, but this is Littlefoot. She is our other cat. She is very stinky smelly and very, very fucking sharp. She also doesn't like to get picked up a whole ton, so this section is shorter.
I have 3 pets. I have a salamander named Bat. We don't see him much. He mostly just kind of lives in a cave. I have a cat named Yaga, who's being quite annoying right now. And I have a dog named Vita, who is sleeping right now. This is Yaga. She is a nightmare demon who, at 3 a.m, every single morning without fail. No, don't touch that. We need to teach you proper mic etiquette. She will scream every single morning and go hunting, and it is so annoying. And Vita, she's a bit big to pick up, so I won't try that. 535 Lounge asks, do you feel stuck creating Skyrim content because it brings the views? Any plans on making another channel for something else in the future? That's a very good question. It's tricky because, yes, Skyrim definitely does bring the views. I think as you guys have seen, we've tried doing other content as well. Like we have the podcast, we have different series that we try doing. But it's tricky because on one hand, we don't just want to do Skyrim content, but on that same hand, that's what people come to us for. Like we have a niche that people want from us. So like if I started doing a cooking show on the channel, you guys wouldn't watch that because that's not what you're here for. You're here for that Skyrim content. I don't want to stop doing Skyrim content. I certainly don't want to do it forever, but it won't be ending anytime soon unless Todd cuts down those servers somehow. And let's be real, we know Skyrim's going to be put out for the PS5. Like we all know it. Todd's just going to re-release his creation to us again. Yeah, it's tricky. I would say we don't feel compelled because it is what we like doing, but at the same time, you guys want that from us. So we have to provide that because that's what you're here for. As far as creating another channel, definitely not. I think, we've wanted to create like an umbrella to like be able to put anything here. So like, we try announcing at the end of every Skyrim episode, hey, check out the podcast, check out these other series we're doing, check out this, check out that. So we try and, bring people elsewhere, but doesn't always work out. But I would say we're not going to be creating another channel because of that.
Shapeless Skyrim is the main draw of the channel, and we definitely understand that most, if not all, of our subscribers have come in because they're fans of Shapeless Skyrim or even, Skyrim Storyteller audiobook series that we do. We want to let the channel continue to grow and become something bigger, and to do that, we need people to be constantly coming to the channel, views, subscribers, commenting, stuff like that, spreading the word, and that's what you guys come to us for. It's not a bad thing. We made the channel like that. We created these specific avenues that we're going to push our content in, and Skyrim being a big one obviously is going to draw in people who are fans of Skyrim and wanting more Skyrim or Elder Scrolls related content. But I do hope that, and obviously we're trying and we're working on it. I do hope that other pieces of content from the channel can also start to pick up traction the same way that Skyrim has. I know a lot of people come to the channel for Skyrim, but it would be awesome if we could get as many views on the Baseless Claims podcast as we do on Skyrim Storyteller or on Shapeless Skyrim, or, hopefully we will be able to come up with other content, or we will have reached a level where it's no longer just because of the game that people want to hear from us. It's because they like us, or because we've gotten good enough at creating content that it stands alone and it can draw audiences all on its own.
Would you ever interview modders? That's actually something we are currently in the process of doing. So we are starting to create that series. I don't know if it'll be a series or a few things, but we're in the works. We were trying to get something like that done, and then then we went into quarantine, then I lost my job. So it's been a weird, rough time, but that is something we want to do because we think it'd be interesting for us and for the audience to kind of get that like insight into why did you do this and what's your mentality when you approach this. So look out for that. That'll probably be coming sometime in the future.
Finally, why not do a comparison series? Compare mods to see which one is best, like graphics and whatnot. I think we kind of... So, like, I don't want to pit them against each other. I don't think that is necessarily the format. The show is a celebration of the people who are creating this fantastic content that keeps us coming back to Skyrim. I don't think pitting them against each other and declaring a winner is necessarily what we want to do. I think that it can be seen as a comparison series if you watch, an episode where we're showing off a retexture for ebony armor, and then we, 50 episodes later had shown another one. You can see, oh, I like this one better, I like this one better. It's for you to decide, oh, I like that, no, I didn't like that, or oh, that's cool, but it's not really for me. So I don't think we're going to be doing a comparison series.
Killer Sting asks, I know you guys have started a couple different games, but are there plans on other games you'll be doing more frequently? There's not like a plan. We don't necessarily have like, okay, in September we're doing this and that. It's more so if we like something and we think it's possible to show it off, then that's something we'll do. So like I guarantee we'll probably do like a Cyberpunk playthrough in the future because we've all been waiting for that for a really long time. We've started other series like, Red Dead and Detroit Become Human. Those ones we didn't finish because part of the problem, or not problem, but part of why those don't continue is because, people don't want to watch it. Like, they barely get any views, and it's clear that people aren't interested in it. So it's like, it was worth a shot, but if people don't want to watch it, then people don't want to watch it. So we're not going to, put all that time and energy into something that you guys don't like. Whereas Breath of the Wild, people watched it, people liked it. And we finished the entire series.
What are your hopes on the next Elder Scrolls, and do you hope they bring the build feature to it? So the build feature in Fallout 4 was really cool. I didn't play a ton of Fallout 4, but I spent a lot of time messing around with building up my community and stuff like that. I thought that was really, really cool. However, that works really well for the Fallout world because you're scrapping all of this stuff in the wasteland, and I don't know if that works as well for Elder Scrolls. So I would love to have more house customizability and some type of building feature that's a little bit more fleshed out than Hearthfire. But I don't know if the way they did it in Fallout 4 is necessarily the best way to do it for the next Elder Scrolls. But I do hope that they can merge Hearthfire and that together and come up with something that's a really interesting, cool, customizable building-esque feature for the next Elder Scrolls.
I loved Fallout 4's build feature. So the settlement building was awesome. I absolutely hope they bring that into Skyrim or the next Elder Scrolls game, simply because I can spend so much time doing that. Like it's a lot of fun. They'd have to kind of rework an idea of how to bring that in. Like if you're building like Civil War encampments or something, it'd have to be added cleverly, but I hope that goes in. The other thing that I'm really hoping for is a more fluid combat system. Skyrim's combat feels clunky. It's janky. It's not that good. Like, it's like 3 animations like that. And what they did with Fallout 4 is like they took, Fallout 3, which was also clunky, and then going to Fallout 4, which is so fluid. They sped it up. The VAT system was improved. Like, everything feels really, really good. So I hope they bring that idea into the next Elder Scrolls game.
And the last questions come in from our very own Tyler Matheson because he just had to, didn't he? What is your personal favorite YouTube channel or type of content? That really fluctuates because it could be, that I'm just going deep in on a hole with this type of content or this, X channel for a little while. Recently, my favorite type of content has been cooking. My favorite channels have been Bon Appetit for sure and Binging with Babish. I don't know why. Most of the food is I'm very picky. Most of the food is stuff that I would never ever want to eat or try. But I feel like I'm learning, and especially Bon Appetit, they make it so interesting and entertaining to watch still because they're all just fun personalities. So I don't know, I like watching it and learning different cooking techniques. Even if I'll never make that particular dish, I might learn something about why they did this, what reaction might occur or why they do this for the chicken or whatever it might be. And it actually has helped me get better in the kitchen myself. So
my favorite type of content lately has been sort of the video essay, but funny kind of deal. So right now on YouTube, I'm really into Gus Johnson, Eddie Burback, and Nakey Jakey. That style of content is really resonating with me right now. But I've always just Let's Plays that are comical, not super serious things or anything. And then I also like watching content of games that I'm playing currently. So I'm watching a bunch of Tarkov content creators right now just to get to know the game a bit better.
I know people think it's weird, and I might catch some flack for this, but my personal favorite YouTube videos are ASMR videos. I listen to them like every single day. The work it does for my soul is just incredible. Like, it puts me at ease. I love like whispered ASMR content, not like the crinkly glove stuff. That's fine, but like I just prefer the whispered stuff. Other favorite YouTube channels, subscribe to Internet Comment Etiquette.
Last one, also from Tyler Matheson. What is your favorite video we've made and why? My favorite video we've made would probably be our 1,000 subscriber special. We always want to do more like live action comedy sketches and skits and stuff like that, which is obviously pretty impossible right now as we're all in quarantine. But I loved like crafting all these like stupid ideas and like, okay, well, what if there was like a Nintendo Direct in the middle of it? And what if the camera flips around and Tay is slow motion washing a car and then it whips back to us and it's back in real time and we're looking like it was in a way for us to like shoot these really bonkers ideas off and go, fuck it, like this is a big celebration for us. Let's just go balls to the wall on this one. And it was like so much fun to film, and it was so much fun to edit, and I loved crafting a live action piece of comedy. So I think that would be my favorite thing. And I hope that once this is all cleared up and everything, I hope we can do more live action comedy stuff in the future, because that was one of the most fun experiences I've had with any video we've made across Shapeless Media. I'm going to give an honorable mention to the PS4 sized cutout of Tyler's head giveaway, where he was like in front of the green screen and like we put a car behind him and he's just like vaping and spinning a fidget spinner and stuff like that, just being a total douchebag. That was super fun because it was like we wanted to make it good enough where we could then make it look like it was meant to be bad. And it was so stupid and so fun to film. I just like that kind of stuff. Doing the live action comedy, like just having fun laughing with your friends while you're shooting it, that's like the best in the world.
My favorite video that Shapeless has ever made, honestly, was our 1,000 subscriber special video. Not because I got to be drenched in water and wash a car. That's besides the point. I just really liked anytime we do live action content, and that was the most recent one to my memory that at least I was a part of. And I always love doing the live action content here on this channel and just hanging out with the guys. Just getting in person and just doing shit together is always such a blast. And it really sucks because of COVID. And then also Tori moved not too long ago and hasn't really had the studio space to do like the traditional format where what we used to do a while ago.
My favorite video that we've made is definitely the Christmas giveaway Bowflex video, simply because it was Tori and I filming Skyrim. We had just got done. I was wearing like a long cardigan and Tori was like taking the battery out of the camera or something. And when he turned around, I was shirtless and I was like lifting a weight and I was like, you know how I got this body? With Bowflex. And then we were kind of like, okay, well, yeah, that's kind of funny. Let's try and make a video. And we put together like a rough like outline of what it would be, and then just kind of like put the camera on and we're like, okay, let's go. And then we filmed it, Tori edited it, and we got it ready to publish within like 3 hours. So that was just a random fun thing. Other favorite things were like in one of the Breath of the Wild videos, I made like a weird like EP kind of thing about hating my fake dad Jim. I don't have a fake dad Jim, but it just worked for the episode. What we always end up doing is like, hey, what's something that would take a really long time and has almost zero payoff? Let's do that thing. We just think it's fun, and you know the editing work might be a lot, but it's got a payoff that we like at least. So that was fun to record just like awful MIDI drums and like a horrible guitar noise and then put it to whatever I was saying in the episode. So that's an honorable mention.
But now I actually want to take that question and throw it back at you guys. I want to know what your favorite video we've ever made for Shapeless Media is, and more importantly, why. So if you want to drop a comment telling us which video and why, that would be amazing, because, and seriously, like, this is research. I want to know what about the video you liked so much so that we start to know what people like about the content, and we can start making informed decisions, more informed decisions, I'll say, about when we're making new content in the future. But until then, I just want to say thank you again for 2,000 subscribers. That's amazing. We went from 1,000 to 2,000 so fast, and people have been letting us know that they're spreading the word and telling their friends and everything, and that's just, it's amazing. So thank you so much to everyone who has been there, just hopping in the comments, hopping on community posts, following us on Twitter. That's just amazing. So thank you so much, and let us know if you'd like to see another Q&A video.
Thank you guys once again for 2,000 subscribers. It means a lot. Thank you guys for your continued engagement. We wouldn't be making any videos without you guys, so thank you very much.
Seriously, though, thank you so much for supporting our content. I know I'm not a huge part of this channel in terms of consistency, but, you know, I love doing baseless claims. I love interacting with people on Twitter and shit. So yeah, just stay tuned for all of our Shapeless content, and yeah, I'm really excited to see where we're going with this. Thanks.